We just finished watching episodes 8 and 9 of Agatha All Along, and we're going to talk about them next. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Let's Get Ready Network. I'm Adelia. I'm here with my buddy Chris. We're going to talk about the finale of Agatha, which I love. I'll say that straight away. Absolutely loved it. Did you-
Wow, this was not what I was expecting. It did not go the way I thought it was going to, and I really thought I was going to go through this whole thing hating Agatha, and up until the last episode, I hated Agatha, and then in the last 5 minutes, somehow she redeemed herself to me, and I don't know what to think.
I do like how they kept Agatha a villain throughout this whole series. Like, there were times when you could tell she was trying to play nice, but especially after she kills Alice, she's definitely still a villainous character. And I liked how they played that up right up till the end, through all the flashbacks of her with Nikki and everything. She still was not being a good witch. And then you're right, those last 5 minutes of her as a ghost with Billy just really got to me. But let's start with episode 8. The end of the road, it was the description on Disney Plus, and I was somewhat surprised that we were going to get the end of the road in episode 8. That might be the beginning of episode 9, but I really liked episode 8 a lot. It showed what the deal was with Agatha and Rio, most of all. And the thing that surprised me the most about that episode is Agatha dies in that episode. Was not expecting that. What are your thoughts on episode 8?
I really enjoyed it, especially the twist we get with Billy and the reveal of what all of this was in the first place. And I really like that. And of course, it connects into the finale. But of course, we had to get some kind of standoff between Rio and Agatha. We knew it was going to happen. But I didn't think it was going to go down the way it was. I didn't expect her to die. I thought there would be some redemption arc, or, she sees Billy and it reminds her of her son, and he kind of plays into that. We got that line in the finale when she said, "I didn't sacrifice myself." Like, she still had to keep safe face.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the interactions in the morgue, I guess you could call it, because they were in body bags and drawers when they woke up in that room. Between Billy and Agatha, I like how Agatha basically helps give him what he was seeking from the road, because she knew that the road wasn't going to just give it to him, because as we learned in the finale, the road didn't exist until Billy created it. And so we know now Tommy's out there somewhere. In the body,
kid that drowned.
In a kid that drowned. So that I have a feeling we'll be seeing Tommy in the Vision Quest series, but because they said that this is like supposed to be like a trilogy of series. It's supposed to be WandaVision, Agatha, and Vision Quest. So I assume that by the end of Vision Quest, we will have the family somewhat all back together, or close to being back together. But I was actually a little surprised we didn't see more of like what happened to Tommy in the finale, or some clue that they knew where to find him or anything.
I think that's to keep us going in wherever direction they're going to go, and who knows how long this will take. So this will have to suffice for quite a while, because WandaVision was 2020, right? Well, it was during COVID. 2021. Yeah, so during COVID. Yeah, so we've been 3 years out. We're going to have a ways to go, and to my understanding, the MCU's got this phase pretty well figured out to what they're going to do now. So who knows exactly when we're going to get this, because things change and adjust all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to be next year, because they put out that sizzle reel or whatever with the slate for next year. So
they would have already been filming it.
Yeah, 2026 at the earliest for Vision Quest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and of course, you and I, this is leading into Young Avengers. That's the whole point of all of this extension is getting these two kids together. It's a long way to go to do that.
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
I really enjoy this, and I think if we're going to focus this as the point of getting to know Billy, just Billy, I was really impressed with it because I didn't want to think that was the direction they were going to go. I
Yeah.
really didn't think they were going to go there. They went there, and when they were that way halfway through the series, I was sitting there going, "All right, it's too soon. What is going on?" So we had time to marinate with it, and I'm really impressed when he comes in and he saves Agatha from Rio, from death.
Yeah.
That was a cool moment.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
I really did like the fight between Agatha and Rio. I loved how Agatha remembered what Lilia's last words to her were. You know, when she calls you a coward, hit the deck.
Mhm.
And so she doesn't get hit with literally the kitchen sink. At least I assume that's the kitchen sink.
And you and I
And
were
then
feeling the same way. I feel bad for the Westview people, the people living there.
yes,
Like, move away at some point. If you live near Hurricane Alley or Tornado Alley, like, shouldn't you move someplace else?
yeah. I mean, yeah, really. I live in Tornado Alley. I should really live somewhere else. But any other thoughts on episode 8? Because
No,
I thought it
it
was a really
was,
good penultimate episode.
you know, it was really good. I enjoyed Rio herself too, really
Yeah.
getting to move, and the fact that Rio got the satisfaction of finally getting Agatha, which is what she wanted in the first place.
Hmm.
That's the interesting thing about this, is that it seems like most of our coven that went into this got what they wanted
Yeah.
in one form or another.
Yeah.
And I really like that aspect of us. Yes, we had some deaths, which, well, you know, we can talk about that result in the next episode. But yeah.
Yeah, I should also mention in episode 8, Jen does the unbinding spell with Agatha because we discover Agatha's the one that bound her, not the
Mm-hmm.
guy that Jen had thought for years was the one had bound her.
Yep.
And so Jen got her powers back and she escaped the witch's road and flew off at the end of episode 9.
And I don't think that'll be the end we see of her. Is she a major
I don't
character?
either.
No. But I think we will see her again.
Yeah, I agree. And then episode 9, we start off way, way back in time in the 1700s. I forget what the exact year was that they flashed up, with Agatha in labor in the forest. And Rio approaches her and says she has to take him, meaning Nicholas, her son.
Mm-hmm.
And Agatha cuts a deal with her that she will get some time, but Rio doesn't tell her how much time. And Agatha spends the next several years with her son going around killing witches and not knowing when Nikki's going to be taken from her.
Mm-hmm.
And as we learn, they make up the song that is the ballad.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of these flashbacks, Chris?
I really like this. This does give us, I mean, you still hate Agatha, and yet you start to feel for her at the exact same time.
It
As a
really
mom, and
humanizes her.
she was a great mom.
Yeah.
She really was, you know, and all she wanted was just to continue to spend time with him, knowing what was coming, knowing that he
Yeah.
was going to die. I really do want to know the one thing, and I guess it just ends up being rumor, is the connection with the book, in that
Darkhold, yeah.
everybody claimed she sacrificed her son to get the
Darkhold.
Darkhold, which is not true. We see that is not the accurate thing that happened. She
Yeah.
just lost her son to death. How human and mortal is that? And yet we see at the same time that, and I joked about it during our watch along, all of it was Agatha all along, and she was playing the long con the whole time.
Yep.
It has been for centuries.
Yeah, I really loved the montage of her gathering a coven of witches and singing the ballad, and then them attacking her when the door doesn't open, and her stealing their power, and then all the way up until the basement when all of a sudden there's a door, and she's like, "What the hell is this?"
I think she figured it out pretty quickly, though.
Yeah, but like no one, I don't think she figured it out until Billy came running downstairs.
Yeah, that was interesting.
But it was really interesting to go back through this whole rewatch this whole show knowing that Agatha has no idea what they're about to face, what's going on, anything
Mhm.
in on the road, even though she's trying to act like she does.
You know,
Um,
it's really interesting when we made the when make the Wizard of Oz comparison here,
yeah,
because she's really reminding me of the wizard and the con man that he really is.
yeah,
And while the wizard ended up doing for good, at least in the early stories, she's so opposite of that. But I love that aspect. She didn't expect anything to come out of this. This wasn't supposed to happen.
hmm and Billy, we should say, Gay is the one who gives Agatha her power back when she's fighting
Mhm.
Rio in episode 8.
That should tell you
She,
how powerful he is.
how powerful he is. Also, she didn't take all of his power, even though she could have, which tells you she
Right.
cares for him because he reminds
Yeah.
her of his son.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then in episode 9, Agatha's a ghost, and she looks amazing as a ghost.
Hmm.
And her conversations with Billy, I think, are really interesting.
Yeah, and I definitely don't think that's going to be the end of her. Because I was
No.
sitting here wondering, I've been sitting here wondering the thing with Nicholas Scratch. In the comics, Nicholas Scratch is an agent of Mephisto and a
Mhm.
serious problem for people like the Fantastic Four. He fought the Fantastic Four first in the comic books. So I'm sitting here thinking in my head, we've never had Mephisto. Everybody has been thinking Mephisto's coming around at some point.
We finally
I
had a mention of him in this series.
That's true. We did have a mention of him. So it's kind of my theory here with this leading in that Nicholas Scratch is with Mephisto, because if Death took him, Mephisto could have done any number of things and have been training him. And so we could still see that as a villain potential for the future, tying it into these young Avengers and what Billy has already faced in his training from Agatha.
It could be really interesting if Nicholas Scratch ends up being like the villain of a Young Avengers series or movie, and Billy's got Ghost Agatha there to sort of like advise him on how to face this threat, and then she discovers the threat is actually her son.
Still makes the question though too, where did she get the Darkhold? So he goes back, let's
Yeah,
bring it all
that
back.
I want to know.
Where did she get it from? I'm very curious about that. And then of course, is Wanda alive? All of these questions tie back together.
I think Wanda's alive.
I'm believing it more and more and more, but if she doesn't come back, I'm not unhappy about it. But series like this makes that question really interesting.
Yeah, I agree. And really enjoyed how Billy was like trying to banish Agatha and ends up being unable to do it, but in the end destroys the witch's road basically,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of makes the basement floor down there a monument to Sharon, Alice, and Lilia, since they died on the witch's road that he created.
Mm-hmm. And that's a guilt he's going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
That's such an interesting thing too. But again, you go to Wanda, he's definitely the child of Wanda,
Yeah.
because Wanda dealing with the pain of what pain she caused. The parallels are so good in this. But that becomes that interesting thing as Wanda gained power to get what she really wanted. She lost control. What will happen with Billy here? Billy almost lost control in anger, we saw going after Agatha and the others. What would happen to somebody who's more powerful than Wanda, which, according to the comics, he is. He's the most powerful magic user ever known.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
So
what
again, Where this leads us, I don't know, but we've got inklings of definitely a great character development possibility for him.
Mhm. Yeah, it's the Demi something is what he's prophesied to become, right? I forget the name. But,
I don't remember it, yeah.
yeah, I wanna say it's the Demi something. Um, Demiurge.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, I haven't read those comics, but, there was a statue of him already in Multiverse of Madness, so you knew that he was gonna be showing up at the MCU at some point because they wouldn't have just put that in there.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
I'm
really
sure
glad it
Doctor
was
Strange will play.
yeah, yeah, I'm really glad that, he was in this series. I think everybody, pretty much guessed that Teen was Wiccan from the
Mhm.
first couple episodes, um, but I'm really glad that he was in this series, and I thought Joe Locke p was phenomenal as
He's
Billy.
great. I did not guess that he was, but only because, like, again, I really wanted them to stay away from the comics. I wanted them to do something different.
Well,
Now,
they did
I'm
do
not
something slightly different.
it is a little different. I'm not unhappy that we have Wiccan, and done in a really convincing way that I'm like, "Okay, I buy this. I buy the power that Wanda had and creating something she didn't intend. Had
Yeah.
no idea this was gonna happen." Very impressive. And you're right. I mean, he did a killer job. I still think he looks a little bit like young Billy too.
He
Just a
does, yeah.
little bit. Yeah, so I'm excited to see where this is gonna go. We're gonna have the X-Men universe come in and the idea of, Maximovs and Magnetos and stuff. So this is all building again. It's all building up. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I'm excited to find out, who ends up playing Tommy, whether that's in Vision Quest or in another project. Um, but, I'm glad that we're gonna have both Wiccan and Speed in the MCU because, they're pretty vital characters for the Young Avengers, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Hmm. Yep.
yeah. Joe Locke, if you're looking for something else to watch Joe Locke in, check him out in Heartstopper, which is on Netflix. Really, really good show. It's on its 3rd season. Uh, really love that he got this chance in the MCU too, and I thought he killed it. I thought all the casting in this series was excellent.
I knew I'd seen him. He was in the revival of Sweeney Todd as Toby.
Okay, he
That's
did that.
why I recognized him. I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Yeah, he had the chops. He pulled it off. I was very, 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 very impressed with him. I liked him. Um,
Mhm.
and I again, you know what the thing in the MCU, casting for the most part has never gone wrong. Writing
Yeah,
can
they're
go
real
wrong.
good at that. They're
Yeah,
really
good
good at
casting.
casting.
So I'm very happy with what direction. This was a great series. I really feel Marvel has been up and down with these series.
They have,
Highly.
yeah.
I loved WandaVision. I love this one. These are really great. And I loved Miss Marvel. And it's
Mhm.
funny that the ones that are going to connect to the Young Avengers eventually have been the really good ones.
Yeah. I think that, Marvel definitely gave Jack Schaefer, the showrunner of Agatha and
Mhm.
WandaVision, just, like, do whatever you want, basically. You
Yeah.
gotta include Wiccan, but otherwise have a witchy show and create all the rules and all the stuff for witches in the MCU, basically, and I think she
Yeah.
did a phenomenal job. I think that there should be no one but her touching a Scarlet Witch solo movie if they ever go down that path,
Mhm.
um and I'm really looking forward to Vision Quest now more than I was before, even though there's probably no characters in Vision Quest were in the show.
Yeah, I have no idea what to expect with Vision Quest coming, but that this has been out of the park. I love this line, and I hope if that is to be the end of the trilogy, that will lead us to our Young Avengers. Then more power to it, and I cannot wait. But two
Yeah,
to 3 years, that's not
I know.
fair.
I know. I know. I just
So not fair.
I saw a tweet the other day about how like with somebody was like with movies it's like, oh, you kind of like this movie, we already have 7 sequels planned in development and we're shooting the next one next week. But with series it's like, oh, you really enjoyed this fantastic series of television, now you've got to wait 3 years for 7 more episodes.
And Disney's in kind of a money saving mode. They're trying to keep themselves from going, I'm not going to say bankrupt, but what I am saying is
They're not going bankrupt.
no, what I mean is like they were losing a lot of money with these series.
They
They
were
were losing a lot.
they were
It didn't result the way they thought it was, and so there was a lot of sadness, losing a lot of things. But then you get stuff like this that it's like, I'm impressed. I enjoyed it. They released it at the right time, right number. I don't feel slighted in any way. And here we are walking into, what is it, phase 6? We're walking into
phase 6.
Yeah, we're walking. Oh, man. Now I think, oh, that's right. Finishing 5, going into 6. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next year, we're going to get two great ones. Actually, three great films.
We're getting 3 films.
So I
getting
can't
a bunch of series. We're getting the Daredevil series. We're getting Ironheart. We're getting another season of something. I just watched that sizzle trailer thing they put out.
Did you? I did not see it. I have not seen it.
Okay, I will not say what I was about to say then.
I know the 3 movies that are coming. I don't know the TV shows.
I have questions about one scene of the Daredevil footage that I'm just like, I need answers now on how these connect.
I have no idea. Let's see. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Daredevil is one that I'm re-interested in. I have not seen beyond the first season, the Netflix series.
Oh,
I never saw it.
So good.
No, and I've no doubt, but it's just I just never have gone into all the others in that realm. When they brought him back, or let me rephrase, when they brought it back for Hawkeye, and then included him in She-Hulk, which I'm not opposed
to. And No Way Home.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
No Way Home. Was No Way Home before She-Hulk or after? Might be after.
Before. I can't remember.
I don't remember. It's time, as Lilia said in this last episode before tonight's, time is an illusion. It all blends together for me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, other stuff coming up, I'm excited. Eyes of Wakanda, more Wakanda stuff. That's great. Wonder Man, allegedly.
Oh, yeah, Wonder Man. That was the other series they showed footage of in that too.
And then Vision Quest. But and I'm going to end my part on this. Vision Quest is being run and head written by Terry Matalas. Now, I'm a Star Trek fan. Terry Matalas was in charge of season 3 of Star Trek Picard, which many have said was not only the best of that series, but the best continuing Star Trek we've had in a long time. So I'm really excited to see what he does with Vision, and it makes me really excited.
I'm real curious if they're basing that Vision Quest series off the Vision comic. I forget who wrote it, where he basically builds himself a family. So that's my thoughts on what might be going on with the Vision series. But for now, we're going to wrap up the Agatha post-credits here. What are your thoughts on the episodes that were released tonight? Please let us know by dropping a comment below. You can also join us in our Discord by going to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com, ko-fi.com/LGR_network. $3 a month gets you into our Discord. There are some higher tiers if you want to offer up a little bit more support to the channel, like our good friend Chris here does. And you can be on episodes of the post credits and do watch alongs with us. So check that out. And we will be back this weekend, probably with a Penguin post credits. And until then, we are out of here. Bye, guys.